Okay, we're back. Okay, so I was just playing on paintball. I opened up a lobby and I was just playing that by myself, and then I realized, oh wait, they're like starting things off. So we have Telacy Mirage, we have Empire coming up for the advanced lower bracket. This is for lower finals qualifiers. So winner of this gets to go up against Invaders Blues, which will be the lower finals, and then that's to qualify to go over to grand finals from the lower bracket, right? That is what we're looking at right now. We are going through the ban phase right now. I do know that we do have our Kiriko ban already from Telacy Mirage. We'll get Empires in a couple of seconds as they are also finalizing their lineups. I'm super excited. I was straight up just playing on a paintball. Where'd my lobby go? I had a lobby up. It's gone. Did I destroy it? Oh, whoops. Anyway, sounds like a them problem. So as we wait on this ban and everything, it has been so fun to watch everyone from all the different divisions. We did some expert yesterday with EMEA and NA as well, and those were two game fives. Like we had game five at 2 o'clock and we had game five at 9 o'clock. It was beautiful. So today I don't know if I expect to see the same thing, but I do expect to see a tracer ban. So let's get that on the board right now. Boom. Boom. All right, our bans are locked and loaded. Kiriko gonna be banning a ban from Telacy, and then Empire banning off Tracer. Understandable. Tracer is very strong, kind of annoying to deal with. I can't lie. So we are loading up onto Mecha Base. Beautiful. So Brawl really good and strong here for sure. I feel like Tracer on Busan anyway isn't that much of a problem, especially on maybe onto here. Maybe she's better. She's definitely better on downtown, I would say. Yeah, can't lie. I don't mind the Tracer band though. She's very strong right now. I feel like she's really strong right now. Sometimes it comes down to the fact of like if your tracer on your team is not doing better, or if they're doing worse than the other tracer, it's like okay, GG's. we surely go next. Otherwise, here we go. On our right, we have Empire. On our left, we have Telacy Mirage. It is going to be a nice, fun time. Let's move this down here so I have this accessible. And we're ready to go. Ramattra Mirror on both sides here with Juno. With Juno Iyari on one, Juno Brig on the other. But otherwise, Genji Cassidy coming in against a Genji and a Sojourn. Can't wait to see exactly where we start off on, especially as we are going over, ideally, to this high ground area. Ideally, the back is where people like to default to. So let's go over here, set things up. Oh, meanwhile, we're just going straight in. One side on the left, one side on the right. And now they gotta rotate towards one another. And Godslayer is already looking to kind of fall onto this Genji. But the dive comes in from Jamal. Is it going to be enough? I'm not sure. Stu comes in. Godslayer finds a first pick onto Jamal, who was ideally a little bit too far in, a little too quickly. And suddenly, we're just chilling. Oh, Stu looking a little bit worse for wear. Gets healed by M7MD. Beautiful stuff. And Yanni's cold, though. Finds one to Oliver, and just like that, the fight has now gone and dusted by the weight of Telacy Mirage. It's a little loud for me, but there we go. It's a little better. Yeah, it's a little better. It was really loud in my head, so I just couldn't hear myself. But 5% already on the board here for Telacy Mirage. Setting up themselves up to stuff out this approach from Empire. Empire should ideally, they could push in through here, but they might just do a fake out and go over to this left side room. We can already see that rotation happening over here. And now, Telacy Mirage need to catch them, and they do. They catch them all, lacking once more. And this is going to be a really good, exquisite fight from Telacy Mirage, as they now really just walk into everyone else and find a couple of these stagger kills, and they are just not allowing Empire to walk whatsoever. Telacy Mirage looking very good, especially in the ult economy as well. Godslayer is 20% up on ult charge towards Annihilation over Tricky Tracer. We also are, let me see, Oliver's halfway to a rally. Hans and Delta are really close to their own orbital raise, but Delta is going to go down here. It's called out by that Vortex, and we're still seeing Godslayer just walk right in. Jamal does finally find a reversal pick onto Yan, as well as M7. Oh, Annihilation can be committed here. And depleted almost immediately. Now, we will see a couple ultimates start to come online. Some check marks coming up on deck here. Ideally, Prodigy gonna be a big one to look at for this overclock. We'll be making a lot of space. Kind of the same vein as Jan's ultimate here, the Deadeye. Both of these are, the goal is just to make a lot of space, and ideally as we go on this kind of split between right and left side, you have Project with the Brig forcing out and opening this fight up with a beautiful overclock on the staircase. Everyone's forced to back up, give space back to Empire. We lose Delta, we trade off for Yan, and here comes the Annihilation alongside a opposing orbital from Hans, and not much will be seen there besides a point flip for Empire. Oh, we're going in for a Dragon Blade as well. Whoa, 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 we're getting active. Fortunately, Rally was not going to be enough to keep our team up, unfortunately, for Empire. And we flip it right back. God's Tricky Tracer comes back a little bit too late to the fight. And that's going to be a first round going by the way of Telacy Mirage. Oh. My coffee's all wet on the outside. This is so sad. I have a coaster right here, actually. It's fine. Ugh. There we go. Really good first round for Telacy Mirage. The brawl was definitely there. They just kind of went faster. They just kind of pressed the go button a little bit more consistently than we saw from Empire. So as Empire does do a couple of swaps here, we're seeing Freya now instead of Sojourn from Prodigy. I love that only because Freya can really go on this little high ground where you typically see your Widows play, your Hanzos play, and can take over the airspace, mostly as Freya. And on the other side of things, Yan has gone over to Hanzo, might likely to negate, or at least duel out with the Freya as well. But we're already seeing a rotation over to the point here from Empire, and the team, Telacy Mirage is a little more split here, for sure, as Godslayer tries to find themselves on the point. Stu does once again find a beautiful pick onto Delta. Gets a little bit pressured out by Prodigy on Freya, but otherwise still looking very good for Telacy Mirage to take over this high ground and then now collapse on this back line, which you can be seeing from the side of Stu and Godslayer. Very aggressive, but doesn't really find the targets they're looking for. So there goes Stu for, unfortunately, not really just finding a kill fast enough. The stabilization from our back line of Delta and Oliver was very, very strong there, negating any sort of dive coming in. Definitely the turnaround we definitely needed from Empire. Keeping this fight active, still going to get a little bit of a stagger onto Delta as we do get the D-Mag and can kind of leave the Baby Diva alone while we look at the rest of the team to make sure they don't help out their Diva at all. Godslayer will find a way to get off the objective. No ult charge really given to anyone, but otherwise Rally already online here. Really fast as well from Oliver. Oh my god, Jamal is double on this, sorry, I come from my F9 key. Jamal is doubled on Stu on this ult charge for Dragon Blade, so that ultimate being used early on might be really good for Empire to keep this objective alive even longer. And you're seeing a little bit of a split here. You can see on the left side, Stu and Hans are on an approach, going to the objective, speeding onto the objective as well. Now backing up once you see Empire has committed, but then you have Godslayer being poked out by Prodigy and company. Speaking of, here comes that bullet shot onto the DPS and, of course, Hans as well. And that's really going to be it as Hans Solo doesn't really die. Hold on. Tanked the entirety of that bullet shot and still found a way to survive the exchange the entire time. And is even putting in pressure onto his Omnic form of Tricky Tracer. No Delta, but I think everyone else on Empire is starting to come back. And we even popped the Annihilation, but no one was there to help. So Fire's Captain Sun also going to be expended onto this poor Genji, but that's really all that she wrote as Telacy Mirage finally find a way to retake this objective at 82%. There we go. I mean, they have an opening to work with to keep this stall out even longer. Whoa, we're fighting in here. We have the Orbit Array expended. Also have the Rally coming in, but Oliver's super low, especially coupled with that Dragon Blade from Stu, getting 1, 2, 3, maybe even a 4th kill onto his opposing mirror. That's going to be the fight going in favor of Telacy Mirage once more. Keeping this objective alive, keeping this offense alive. They have to take this to take the whole set. But otherwise, if Empire brings it back, we're going to go to round 3. And the way that these two teams are playing, it's going back and forth. We really have left is Jan's Deadeye here. So we'll have the Orbit Array for the next engagement, which of course I'm expecting them to use it right around here. Absolutely will do. Goes for a big torpedo, pulsar torpedo, but there goes Tricky Tracer, unfortunately, just not able to find that safe cover. What a reversal from Telacy Mirage. An ultimate like orbital ray, something you are typically more scared of playing into, especially at the ultimate version or the enemy version. But then Yan is like, I have a Deadeye, I'm gonna make space, and we're gonna have Annihilation for this next fight as well. Prodigy should be able to build up this next bola shot really quickly. Oh, M7MD called out, kind of standing still. Ramley, a little bit FK in the fight, and that's gonna be the one pick we do really need. We get rid of Yari, we force out the Annihilation, we all back up from it, and it's depleted as soon as it was brought onto the field here. Gossa looking a little bit worse for wear. Bola shot is online as well. Oh, we can't let Project go down now, though, especially as we are seeing M7 come back from the spawn room. Comes another really big pick here. M7 so low. Prodigy still holding on to his bola shot. Needs to find a way to use it now before it gets called out by Yan Colo. Oh no, poor Jamal. Just a two-piece for Yan. Another one coming in against Delta. And just like that, it suddenly just looks like the objective has... The fight has so... Has just fallen by the wayside of Telacy Mirage. Prodigy had the bola shot, had the opening pick onto M7, and just unfortunately couldn't finish it out strong with Empire. That's me the first round going over to Telacy Mirage, and now we have a really good advantage of Empire having the option of any map and first ban, right? Speaking of, let's pull that up right now for myself, because I always miss it. I'm always like, yeah, we're chilling. No, we're not chilling. We have to do this now. All right. As we look over to FACEIT, looks like Empire is definitely going to be picking a map here. They have a bunch of different options. They can go to any mode besides, of course, Control again. I wouldn't be surprised if we kept the Brawl. I think the Brawl has its merits. I think round 2 of Game 1 looked a lot cleaner for them, at least in the first half. And just like that, yeah, we're going to go over to Servasa, understandably so. We love Servasa in this house. And now they also have the first ban phase to go towards. Okay. Otherwise, it was a good first game. Round one of Busan looked a very jarring. You know, you couldn't really get your foot on the objective. Pretty much was bum rush most of the time on that high ground towards those two entranceways out of the spawn room onto Busan Mecha Center. But Mecha Base, excuse me. But then you go to downtown, and they looked a lot better. I think this amount of space they were able to make, the lot of space they were able to play with, was much more appreciated, and worked better for the composition, especially with Prodigy on Freya, for example. And also the Juno Brig of that backline was doing extremely well, I must say. But otherwise, I just feel like maybe they were looking for the perfect bullet shot. Maybe they're looking for the perfect ultimate, and that's really not what you needed to do in that moment. You got that opening pick onto Yari, and then they did walk in, but they just couldn't find that elimination onto Cassidy. Excuse me, I forgot his name for a second. They couldn't find the elimination onto Cassidy, and Cassidy being a somewhat tankier DPS, being able to mitigate damage through his role, having 275 HP, just because having a hinder that makes people not really approach him, it's really, really difficult to maintain that advantage state if you're not able to close out another elimination when you walk forward. Now, we do have our ban set in. I unfortunately was yapping too much and didn't see who banned what. Whoa. Shush. Let me just ask who banned. There's a Ramatra ban here. Really quick, let me double check. Going over to market here. Okay, Empire banned Ram, and there is a Genji ban coming in from Telacy. Let's get that updated right now. Genji and Ramatra. Ram haters. They're funny. All right. with Ram being banned, you have a couple of options of Brawl heroes to play on Saravasa. You can already see two of them on the screen here. We have Orisa coming in from Godslayer, whom if I recall correctly, very proficient on the Orisa. I'm excited to see Godslayer on Orisa again. Helix on Junker Queen, which I'm also excited for. I haven't really seen Junker Queen in quite a minute because Orisa has just become the devil again, and that's okay. It happens in the meta. It all comes back down to a Orisa meta, right? It bet on nothing. Always just bet on a Orisa meta. But Queen into Orisa, you gotta be really careful because this force of Telacy Mirage with Orisa is very difficult to deal with if you're playing Junker Queen, right? They are so much. They can definitely take more angles than you can, and you're kind of forced as Orisa, as a Junker Queen, to play all 5 together. Now, already seeing Suzuki expended here. Full point already unlocked. Looks like gonna be a second test coming from between Gosser and Helix, as there is a little bit of 1v1 happening on the left side of this objective here. That being Stu versus Jamal on these respective tracers, but it is gonna be Empire finding the point first underneath their belt. We retreat, get back to get the mega pack, and Godsa looking a little bit worse for where it has to get healed right back up. But then Stu finds a really beautiful opener onto Delta. But then there you go, you fall, you lose Yan. You lose your one of the biggest damage boosters in your team here. Oh, I mean, we're walking in now. I mean, we get rid of Stu. There's no really real disruption. The only thing that's a little bit worrisome is that you only have Lucio healing right now from Oliver. But it doesn't really matter when you find the Kiriko teleporting right in the front of your sawed-off shotgun here. And that's going to be a really imperative teamfight one for Empire. As well as having a good ult bank economy. Now, Mauga. Don't tease me with a good time. Don't tease me with a good time. I love Malga. God Slayer is on Malga. Gonna be putting a lot of pressure on Junker Queen just because she doesn't have any shields to negate his miniguns. She doesn't really have any sort of other mitigation tools besides her shout. But they got a touch, and it's gonna be all up to God Slayer to charge right in and look at Prodigy, get that burning as well, and the crit. Oh, whoa. But then you have the orbital ray, and you have the rampage from Helix, which gets rid of M7's attempt at staying alive. Uses the shout, which did in fact get a little bit nerfed in terms of self-survivability and team survivability. It's just Godslayer versus this sound barrier team right now on the backline between Delta and Oliver. They stay alive long enough to not only deter Godslayer from running all over them, they're able to not only that, and they also cap the objective for Empire. We're a great start for these guys. A lot more flexibility, I feel like, in their composition as they move over to Palace. I will say ooh. Yeah, 1v1 that Kiriko. I'm ready. I'm ready for the 1v1. Aww. All good. Nice headshot damage with the Prodigy. Good pressure as well from that angle. Goes back out and finds the Mega Pack instead. Okay, Prodigy does have Overclock here. We're going to be seeing the Deadeye instead. Oh, no. That's not what you wanted to see from Yan. Charging up right into this team here. Look at the angle being controlled by Prodigy as well from the low ground right angle. If you're Telacy Mirage, you're being looked at by a team of 5 with that Junker Queen, but then suddenly on the other end of things, you see Prodigy taking care of the low ground, making sure that no one can touch and no one can deter themselves off the high ground onto the point, because then they're gonna get run down by Junker Queen, or you're gonna get headshot in the face by Prodigy, who still has his overclock, funnily enough. Guys are coming up closer to this cage fight, but has it back almost immediately. Well, it does get used by Jamal. Doesn't really find too much, unfortunately. 90% to that cage. I mean, they're going to back up, and there goes Helix, the only one in that cage fight, and just kind of gets called out by the entirety of Telacy Mirage. Actually, going to be committing the continued rush with the overclock. But will it be enough? You know, M70 gonna be the one to be looked at by Prodigy. It has to back up. Pulse Bomb expended, and Stu finds elimination anyway. We do commit with the opposing Kitsune Rush. But that's really all that she wrote as Telacy Mirage. Retake the objective, 5%, find a pick onto Delta, and they're gonna keep running right into this Junker Queen, and we're gonna get a quick pause. Might have been a disconnect. We will see. Yep, there goes Jamal. The good thing is that Jamal already used pulse bomb a little bit earlier, so you didn't lose out on too much ult charge, especially when you're comparing yourself to Stu, who's only at 22%, so not really the worst thing in the world. But you got 30 seconds to reconnect. Which should be relatively soon. I hope. In worst case, they can use their pauses to wait for him to come back once A-OK. I will say, you know, this queen comp is really working out for Empire. I really do feel like they have found a lot more value, a lot more favorability in these fights with Queen, with Rampage being online, and you don't really have a response, a consistent response at least to Queen. You know, you have Kiriko, you know, have Hans with Suzu, and that's great and all, but if Hans gets pressured out by Jamal, for example, on Tracer, if he gets pressured out by Prodigy's rail shot headshot, you know, and rail headshot, you know, if you get pressured out by Helix themselves, that Suzu will more often than not be expended for that survivability to make sure that you're not the first one to die. Because if you're the first one to die as Kiriko, it's not really what you want. Like, you don't want to die first as Kiriko, really, ever, right? So whenever they're able to bait out that Suzu, there's really no other real counter to this Rampage besides staying alive. Staying alive right through the bleeding, the anti effect, things like that. And Helix knows this. Godslayer is very susceptible to the anti-nade. It negates the cardiac overdrive. It negates pretty much everything that this composition goes for. Now, I do love Kirijuno as a backline, but and I think they're starting to realize this now. They are starting to move a little bit faster than Mirage are. Sorry, than Empire are, which is really good to utilize because you want to outspeed somehow this Queen, who is already a very quick character to play into. I mean, M7 is ready for his orbital ray, which, speaking of, could be the opener. But Helix gets nobody. Gets absolutely nothing with that Rampage. Oh, no. I was talking all about this, how, like, Rampage is, like, a really big counter to this team. I mean, they're still fighting it, though. I mean, they're able to find M7D, so that's really solid, a really solid start for Empire to continue this fight on. But they have to look over to his backline, who's able to just kind of keep Godslayer alive longer and longer. Delta is just not coming back, keeping Jamal up in this fight as we are contesting all the way down to overtime. And they almost get the flip here. Stu forced to touch, and it goes by the way of Empire. A completely whipped Rampage doesn't mean the end of a fight if you believe in your DPS, but here comes a high noon. Good boot, but Arrow has to back up, especially Delta, who just unfortunately couldn't hide behind that center pillar fast enough. M7MD gets stuck by a pulse bomb. One more goes on. It's stuck onto Jungle Queen, and Helix goes down as well. Oh, but we cannot forget about Prodigy, however. Prodigy is a force to be reckoned with, and Godslayer is just Godslayer and a dream with Hans. Godslayer runs over to Prodigy, who slides right back out. They're playing a tug of war. Continuing rush into the cage fight. And now everyone from Empire is coming back with this Kitsune Rush. Prodigy's coming up on another overclock and needs to stay alive. Maybe even negate Hans. Oh, here's a sound barrier, though. It is just going to go on and on and on and on until I see this overclock be used. I'm not sure it will, because Gus is looking a little bit worse for wear. Hans TP's right in and gets shut down. Overclock now being expended here for sure to finish out this fight and get a 2-0 so far on Saravasa. Beautiful connection, beautiful finish, and great staggering back into the fight to stall it even longer and longer until we had ultimates online. Oh, this is going to be a really uncomfortable fight. If they take it, they might take this fight here. Oh, they will. There goes Jan. They're trying to get... Yeah, they're just going to speed out. They got rid of the Cassidy, and they're running. Okay, we move over to Temple. Empire is very much chilling here as they are waiting on their Cassidy to come back. Giannis is back at least. Slam expended. There goes M7. Here comes a Rampage, but the self-heal is insane. I can't. Helix just refuses to die over and over and over again. And even when Helix does die first, they still find a way to win the fight. So it almost feels like it doesn't matter. Beautifully done again from Empire. Very quick fight, making a statement, finishing off quickly, and resetting to their original positions. They know Stu has Pulse on. They know M7 should at least have his orbital ray online soon-ish. Oh, Jamal has no deaths. Wait, my goat? Okay, now here comes the go button. That being the hyper ring. Walking into the objective is gonna be Godslayer. And accompanying that is the orbit array. And there goes Oliver going down for the count. And we get an easy, quick flip here for Telacy and Mirage. Exactly what they were looking for. Only thing expended was just the orbit array for Telacy. So they have a good ult bank, a good ult economy going into these next couple of fights if they want to get a reverse sweep on Suravasa. If we know anything about Empire, they're going to want to use this continued rush and this overclock at the same time. Here comes both of them. But here comes a big Deadeye. Gets 1 and 2 and 3. Oh, in this small area, it was just a matter of, oh, what a 5K. What an absolute treat from Yanis. Oh, my goodness. What a statement. Both Kitsu rushes expended. We used a Deadeye. We used Pulsum as well, I believe, from Jamal a little bit earlier. Now what? You're about to get cage fought. They're rotating around the coastline here. Oh, Gossler's in there. Oh, he's going to walk in there. Oh, they're going to trap him right here. Can't walk in. Can't walk around. Pulsum also used on Helix. There's going to be a touch happening in the back end of things. Here goes Suzu. They're going to slam right in. Goes the objective. There goes the... Whoa! Where did my Cassidy go? No! It's all going away. The advantage just simmered away from Telacy Mirage. Yanis went off the map, unfortunately. And just like that, they only have 10% to go. They have to get a touch here, but without Yanis going on to Echo, getting called out by Jamal, that is going to be game 2 going to Empire. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So even scoreboards right now, really good stuff from these guys. Yo, here we gotta see this. Hold on. This was... I missed the first part of this high noon. 3 rolls away from the pulse bomb, which was used. Gets the sliding prodigy out of there, and then just gets a nice clean headshot melee onto Jamal. Consistent. Little 5K as a treat. Nothing crazy. Don't be comfortable though, because Telacy Mirage might do they might, because they lost that map, but they're very fruitful on that Cassidy. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for a DPS ban wherever they want to go. The DPS ban to protect Cassidy to allow Yanis to continue having that momentum build up with Cassidy, that the tankiness, the damage output, the precision as well is something that is amazing. Now we are seeing Circuit Royale be the map of choice. No problem. Now we are also going to be seeing a... I want to see who's going to attack first. Telacy Mirage does get to choose who is attacking first, who's defending first. So I think if I was Telacy Mirage, I would just defend first. I feel like their defense is pretty solid when they do have their advantage. When they have... Yeah, they're actually going to attack first. Whoa, they're going to attack. I'm going to swap these around in that case. I'm not gonna lie, I'm also somebody that likes to attack first, because I just never do well in defense. I never do well. I like attacking because at least when I go on defense, it gives me somewhere to draw a line. Like, okay, I need to defend until here. When I'm defending first, it's kind of like, okay, I hope they don't make it past XYZ spot. You know what I mean? So I don't mind. Telacy Mirage will be opting to attack first. They did ban out May. We'll see what Empire banned out in a couple of minutes. Otherwise, 1-1 so far. Very entertaining game. Yeah, they gotta send about Yanis. Yanis is a problem. Yanis Kodo, we gotta call you out, bro. You're a little too good. All right, next ban will be on Iyari. Let's get that on the board here. And we got, yo, these streamer names, oh, killing me. We got Delta coming in again, Jamal, Prodigy, Oliver, and Die. I think that's Sleepy. Hold on, let me see. Snow Sleep, I think. Yeah, I think that's Snow Sleep. I hope it is. Circuit Royale. Very favored map in this map pool. I feel like we've been seeing it almost every single map selection and across all the divisions from Master all the way down to Open. It has just been a very consistent map that has been chosen as of late, so I'm not surprised. I do want to see what we're going to be running, though. I mean, Ram's back online, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ram again. We do. Okay, we see Ram on one side, that being Telacy Mirage. For Empire, we have Reinhardt. Now it goes over to Ramatra, as you should. Sleep. I hope that is Sleep. That should be Sleep. On the website, it is. Yeah. That is Snow Sleep. I'm examining these composites. Yanis is back on. Target ban my are you gonna cry to bed? Alright. Let's start things off with a bang. Whoa, why did I say like that? Ram versus Ram. Yan is back on Cassidy. Hans and M7 sticking to that Juno Kiriko backline. And Stu is now on Genji. Jamal's on Freya. We have Prodigy sticking onto Sojourn. Very wise choice, I would say. I mean, they're moving casually through this first objective. Sleep goes to the Vortex in the corner, now forcing a 1v2 kind of on this bridge area with Stu and Godslayer now fighting one another for this staircase. But in the backline of it all, no one's looking at Jamal. And just like that, that is a big shutdown from Empire. Can't get too overzealous, though, as we are moving up into their spawn room a little bit too confidently as Godslayer and I believe Stu are coming back from that spawn room. Bap and Juno, you don't really see all that often, I would say, but I don't hate it. Not at all. I really do like... I think Juno just is a really flexible support that can work with pretty much anybody. Oh, there goes Sleep. That's really not unfortunate. You're gonna be seeing everyone back up away from the bridge, backing over to the second corner, waiting for Sleep to come back. This is a really good spot to play in as well if you're Telacy Mirage. This corner here, phenomenal. I mean, look at this. 2.5 minutes on the clock here. Okay, Sleep is back. Jamal has bullet shot. Wouldn't be surprised if we did see it get used immediately in this fight, because nothing really else is online quite yet for Empire. I'm sorry, for Telacy Mirage. Oh, there it is. Bullet shot using expended here onto Stu. Can't find his target, but reversal Continue Rush comes in alongside a high noon, of which has been very fruitful until right now. Oh, my Ram's T-posing. Gotta get rid of him. Oh, what a pick! Oh, that was so good from Prodigy. Just kind of peeping Hans's eye or head right between that barrier there, or that entryway. Both Annihilations are online here as we're seeing Sleep versus Godslayer. Godslayer needs to back up, however, as the rest of this team of Empire are coming back, and there's only a minute and a half left. That entire fight took about 5 minutes, just so you know. Okay, they've restabilized. They've used a couple of big ultimates here, though. Oliver's gonna be coming on this orbital ray, ideally before Stu can unleash this Dragon Blade, which will not happen, but he's at 12 HP, has to back up, and here comes the orbital ray as well from Oliver. So that blade, unfortunately, doesn't do much besides tickle somebody, and then has to back up almost immediately. They're backing all the way to this first corner here. Orbital ray was already used, and that was enough to kind of scare Telacy Mirage away from this first corner. Oh no. I mean, we'll get double support ults online for Telacy Mirage relatively soon between Hans and M7, but otherwise, this attack has really taken a halt here for Mirage. And Window right in front of the corner here means that they have to play this back area where Sleep is going to get insane amounts of healing output with the Amplification Matrix. And Jamal has another bullet shot ready. Hans might be able to rip this continue rush around this corner ideally soon. And there it is, but it gets caught off by the corner. So it has this much space to work with. Orbital Ray needs to be accompanied with it alongside a opposing overclock from Prodigy in a very safe spot up in this upper high ground. Stu jumps right up into the fray. Hans upwards in, doesn't really quite get headshot for that cooldown usage, but otherwise overtime has been enacted. Godslayer is trying his best to stay in this defense form as long as possible, as we're getting 85% and counting to another annihilation for Sleep. Oh, look at this is going down to the wire, and they don't touch the cart. They don't touch the cart. What do you mean we don't touch the cart? Who is the number one player in this match to look out for? Consistently, I would say Yanis, but I feel like I don't even know. You know, it's between either DPS. I think it's between either Prodigy or Yanis. Whenever they're able to find shutdowns or first eliminations, for either side, usually their team will win that fight. 9 times out of 10, I would say, right? So I think those two are definitely the ones to look out for. I feel like Prodigy has a little bit of an edge over Yanis just because we are playing Sojourn, and Sojourn's just a strong character in general. But Yanis has now gone over to Sojourn here, to ideally thinking to mirror Prodigy. Prodigy's already hovering over Freya, right? It has just been the Yanis and Prodigy show. If Yanis has overclock, it is 9 times out of 10 gonna be looking towards Hans, looking towards Stu, looking towards one of those players to eliminate them first, and that is really a big fight win, a big opener for Empire. However, if on the same breath, if Yanis gets a big elimination onto Delta, onto Oliver, for example, that is Telacy Mirage's go button, typically, right? So it just really depends on who is playing better in a fight. Is it Yanis or is it Prodigy? Simple as that. You know, both these tanks, Godslayer and, this is a streamer name, and Sleep are playing extremely well on their respective Ramatras. But otherwise, it is just coming down to which DPS is getting those opening picks over and over and over again. You do see the Pharah and the Mercy coming in for a little bit here, at least in the attack phase, to put in a little bit of pressure from this high area. And even more so, we're sticking onto it. Stu gets rid of Prodigy. That's actually massive in the Freya mirror. But there's the res. Oh, how could we forget? There's a res on top here. Stu comes in, finds a little bit of pressure onto Jamal. But I mean, you're kind of you're hip to hip with another Mercy, so you'll be a-okay for a little while. The real challenge to find here is Oliver. Oh no, my Ram is super low. The Lamp does get used, and they get healed right back up, thankfully. But they're halted at this corner. Can't really find a way to break through quite yet, but we are going to have the bullet shot really early on for Stu here. In fact, I'm just going to look over here and see if we can get it now. Oh, what a headshot, and what a bullet shot as well. Oh my goodness. Definitely the reversal we needed. Maybe Stu was also someone we had to look out for, because this Freya has been an absolute phenomenal change so far for Stu. He's been having some... Throughout the series, he's had some success, with Tracer, with Genji, but this Freya so far has been a really big pain against Telacy Mirage. It's against Empire. And Jamal has Barrage. Both Annihilations online here and a continued rush. Jamal's backing up, wants to use the Barrage against his opposing Ramatcha, but needs to wait out a tiny bit longer, maybe even get some pressure out on this back line with these rocket charges. Oh, but gotta be really, really careful about Yenis, because Yenis, guess what, has overclock. Doesn't even need to use it. Beautiful rail shot, 1, if not 2. The aim is immaculate. Oliver going down 3, Delta 4. And last but not least is Sleep going down the last bit. All right, thanks, no problem. It's a good question to ask because it's just a good question to ask. You know, who of these two teams is the one to look out for? I think it's just either of these Hiscan DPSs. They're very strong right now. Stu's, mind you, has been very strong on Freya this entire time. We're sticking to this Freya, Pharah, Mercy composition, which I like the Freya. Pharah and Mercy, I feel like it's because they have a short distance to go, and I feel like this Mirage is gonna be great, and it gets a lot of pressure out. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, we shut down the Bola shot. Oh, that's it. Damage boosted Barrage alongside that window. We're pushing up, make sure no one can touch, and that's gonna be Empire taking Circuit Royale, bringing us to a 2-1 so far. Interestingly enough, I mean, the fact that Pharah worked was insane. If you hear any music from outside, I'm so sorry. I live in a very active neighborhood, I feel like is the best way to say it. Look at this beautiful, like, 4K. 1, 2. Oliver's gonna be next. Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow. Beautiful. Beautiful from Prodigy. Absolutely wonderful overclock. But like I said, you know, if either of them are getting these big opening picks, boom, the fight will go by the way of them. They are blasting me. I don't think you guys can hear it. Thankfully, my mic is, like, pretty chill about noise canceling and stuff like that, but it is getting louder and louder. Alright, Telacy Mirage picking our 4th and possible final map, as Empire have now solidified themselves in that match point spot. Runasapi is our map of choice for map 4. And now we get to pick who is on the red side, who's on the right side for stream purposes. It makes my life so much easier if you just keep the sides how they are. And it looks like they are. Thank you, Telacy Mirage. Now, they have first ban pick here. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Soj ban and forcing a Cassidy mirror, possibly, maybe forcing a lot more Frey to be played. Could be a couple different options to be seen here. Otherwise, it's going to be Lucio. Oh, they're targeting Brawl. They're targeting the fundamentals of Brawl. They're going to be taking out Lucio from the back and to make sure he just cannot play the game. Let's get that ban up in here, Lucio, and we'll be seeing the next ban momentarily from Empire. If you're Empire, you know, okay, they don't want Lucio to be played here. They want to force Juno speed boosts instead, or they want to force a more stabilized, slower Brawl to be played, you know, and that's okay. I think this will be giving way to a Juno backline with Kiriko or with Baptiste or with Brigitte. A lot of different options for Juno to be played here if Lucio is no longer in the field, which is understandable. And as we tick down on this ban timer, I feel like a ban might be fruitful on... If it's Runasapi, like, do they want to play Brawl again? Okay, great. Thanks, FACEIT. Do they want to play Brawl again? Do they want to play Orisa? Do they want to play Mauga, which we saw Mauga earlier? Do we want to play Queen again? All three of which I think do solidly on Runasapi, right? Or do you want to go for DPS ban? Do you want to ban out Sojourn? Limit that power, the burst power, the potential of rail shot, or of overclock. You know, lots of really good options here. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at any really ban they go for. I feel like a lot of them have their merits. A lot of them have their reasoning. So as we see lineups being finalized, this could still go the whole way, right? If game 1, Telacy Mirage was all over Empire, all over them for the entire first 2 rounds of Busan. I feel like they're just starting to... Either they're getting too much in their heads, their mental's getting a little bit more depleted, or Empire's just warming up. And the more they get warmed up, the more they get fired up, the better they're playing, the more synergized they're playing. And it's just a matter of the fact that you need to match that if you're Telacy Mirage. And I feel Runosapi might be the best place to do that because momentum can be shifted so quickly on a push map like Runosapi, specifically Runosapi, because I feel like Runosapi is one of those maps where the first 7-8 minutes are like, okay, chill, we're at like 100 meters, they're at 30. But then the last 2 minutes, you're like, how did we lose 100 meters with an 80 meter advantage? How do we do that? You know what I mean? So could go either way. This could absolutely end here with a game 4, 3-1 victory for Empire, or this could go all the way to game 5 for Telacy Mirage, which is exactly what they're looking for. So, cards are everything's on the table right now. Cards are all out. The odds are high. This is to fight for lower finals against Invaders Blues, and that's even just to qualify for grand finals for the advanced division. So again, it's a lot of stakes here. Stakes are high for sure. Huh. Speaking of, I've had an amazing morning already. I mean, I woke up pretty late. I was supposed to wake up at 9:30, and then I slept in because my bed was just so comfy. It was so comfy, and I had AC, so I was like, no, I'm chilling. And then I woke up at 12 by accident. There it is. There it is. Cassidy ban on lock. Let's get that in here. Cassidy has been a problem. They said, no, I don't want to play against Cassidy on Runosapi. The sightlines there are long-ish sightlines, but I feel like the only long sightline you'll have is this one right here, right? This sightline right here is super long. Great. I feel like the rest of these sightlines, this one's pretty short. This one's pretty short. This one from here is pretty short. All these shorter sightlines do benefit Cassidy a big amount. Even the opening area, this part is short and this part's a little bit longer. You can have your Sojourn station on this area, and she'll play this like little longer sightline, and your Cassidy will be a little bit more further up, playing over here, or even playing within this barrier to look at both sides, right? These shorter sightlines benefit Cassidy a lot more, so there's a good reason why we're seeing those bans come to fruition. I keep forgetting there's a streamer name. Like, who got swapped in? No, that's just still sleep. It's okay. It's still sleep. Starting lineup's looking a little bit interesting. I do like that Empire is sticking onto this Jungle Queen again. Report emergency child abuse. These guys are so funny. They're hilarious. They've been making me laugh all day today. Okay. M7MD is back on Iyari. Was banned out earlier, now able to finally play their character. Spyro sticking onto Freya. No Freya on the side of Empire, however, which is a little bit interesting as it was so fruitful, I feel like, for them. The Orisa versus the Queen. A classic matchup here. Just gets the spear off. Some headshot damage as well. Sleep looking a little bit worse for wear. We bully ourselves right into the middle of this fight here. Trying to see exactly who's gonna be the opener pick here. I love that we are seeing most of the team on this backline area where the mega pack is, and then everyone else is, or at least Godslayer is playing on the objective. Oh, but it looks like it's a beautiful first pick here onto M7MD. Oh, we can find his Freya as well from Jamal. That's nice. Empire gets a leg up so far. Gonna be easily overtaking this 0.79 centimeters, I think. These 79 centimeters from Telacy Mirage easily. Whoa, Pulsam expended? Oh, I see. Seeing a quick hit from Spyro, who has now swapped in. Excuse me, I didn't call that out. Spyro's me coming in here, playing Venture. Oh, Terror Surge on the field. Shuts down the Coalescence from Oliver. Which I will say, combining with Moira, a little bit more interesting. I feel like she does have her merit, but I feel like a Juno maybe would work a little bit here to mirror Orbital Rays from Hans. Have a little bit more of the survivability and movement against Stu, for example. Because, Moira has Fade for only so long, but at least Juno has Glide, she has Hyper Ring. She has a lot of different options. She has more than one option, at least, to fade away, and you know, her movement in general is just very, very good. Okay, Telacy Mirage looking really good here. There is gonna be a last minute contest right at the front of this barrier. Kitsune Rush and Dragon Blade expended at the exact same time. Oh, Captive Sun. Whoa. Oh, Spyro was super low. Beautiful peel back. Gotta get Jamal away from us though. M7 called out by sleep on Jungle Queen. 1, 2, 3. Stu might find the elimination here. But no, it can't. Actually has to back up. It's a little bit too much pressure being put onto them. What a pulse. And Delta, I think, just didn't have Suzu on lock quite then. Bot is not moving, however. Orbital Ray was expended from the side of Telacy Mirage. And that's going to be pretty much it for the fight. It kind of went different ways. There's like a bunch of 1v1s, separate 1v1s happening. I feel like that got a little bit too messy. But Empire still retake the objective with 6.5 minutes left. And looks like Jamal is going for, yeah, just going to be teleporting their Keiko back here. I mean, Tectonic Shock could go crazy right now, but they're all backing up, making sure they're not peeking Spyro whatsoever, knowing that they likely have this Tectonic Shock ready to unlock. Whoa, 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 the combination? Ooh, Terror Surge, Tectonic Shock used just to take out Oliver and company. Haha. That was a complete accident, but what a reversal from Telacy Mirage. I believe they'll be a little bit behind on overtaking this objective. I lied. There was no touch. Okay, I thought Project was going to be able to touch in time, but I don't think they could have. I think everyone's kind of looking at him too much. Another Coalescence ready for Oliver use. Here comes the heal orb alongside that Coalescence I was talking about. Everyone's backing up around this long corridor space, which the Coalescence can absolutely do a lot of damage into. Oh, there goes Jamal. But there goes Spyro. Good trade-off, but my Jungle Queen is in a really unfortunate situation here, and Stu finds the last-minute elimination needed to take out Oliver. Okay, they move past the checkpoint and now are moving further and further into Ruin Sabi. Telacy Mirage are looking to bring us to a game number 5. Ow, my Daith. I wish I have a Daith here, so I can't really put my headphones in there. Okay, I'm not bleeding. Oh, thank God. Kitsune Rush expended. I love this area for Kitsune Rush as well, but you lose 2. Couldn't even have a fight started for Empire before it ended just as quickly by the way of Stu. We commit. I think it was just to commit it, and I think that Sleep It might be swapping off Queen here, maybe to mirror the Orisa. I feel like it's just not working the same way it had worked previously on Suravasa. 85 meters to 46. Okay, no, Sleep actually is going to stick onto Queen here. Godsurge has another, mind you, another Terra Surge ready. Spyro should be coming up on another Terra Surge, Terra Surge, another Tectonic Shock. But, ooh, in the back line, there is a big blade happening, oh. Jamal looking a little worse for wear. Gets rid of Hans, though. Oh, no. They got the opening pick, but it didn't matter at the end of the day. Oh, no. They're just pushing and pushing and pushing. And they constantly have ultimates. They're going to use Pulse and Orbital this next fight. And then, guess what? They're going to have Captive Sun after the fact. Empire have zilch. Nothing to work with right now. Oliver can absolutely build up this next Coalescence early-ish. But it has to be done now. Before. Oh, was it Juno Jax? Oh, no. I don't even see the Orbital Ray being used here. Let me double check. Yeah, there is no Orbital Ray. Big Juno Jax coming in from the side of Telacy Mirage. There goes Prodigy as well. This fight is still ongoing. Despite being down your junior, you still have the healing orb of the healing pylon on the opposite side of this archway, and they're still finding picks, they're still finding eliminations, even without Hans, who will be coming back right now. Oh, that's just the speediness of that character. M7MD is going to have this Captain Sun to use at the very last stretch of Runasapi. Coalescence will be used by Oliver. Getting super low here, but the self-heal has been buffed, so they're going to stay alive a little bit longer during this continued rush. That Dozo is going to be also expended on this beautiful last stretch of Runasapi. And they're going to back up. Said, listen, we're going to set up on this back area of the bridge again with Pylon. We're going to re-engage with this with this Captive Sun. Finds nothing, unfortunately. Fight still ongoing, though. Retribution has now built up another Rampage, and everyone's kind of split up right now, so I wouldn't really use it right here, right now. But otherwise, Empire finally looking like they got a little bit of a break. They got a little bit of a lease on life here to keep this bot under their control. I'm not gonna lie, that knife would have been really sick if they actually did land onto Stu. They don't know. They don't know Spyro's right there. And they get out. I mean, they should get out. Yeah. Not able to find the elimination onto Spyro, but that's A-okay. Still has Rampage on the back pocket. Also coming up on Prodigy's Overclock, which is very important here, especially as we have now gone over to the middle of the objective, negating these forward spawns from either team right now. Oh, but Prodigy's not even be able to use their Overclock. Spyro finds a big elimination, big opening pick, and then the rest of the fight just kind of falls into the laps of Telacy Mirage with only a minute left to go. Okay, Jamal. Oh, nice stolen kill there from Godslayer. Less than a minute left on the clock here. Empire do have they have Rampage. They have Overclock. They're gonna build up this Coalescence and this Continued Rush relatively early here. Well, I feel like we have to be really mindful of this character, of Spyro. This Titanic Shock should go crazy. Lose Stu, but not really the end of the world. But then you lose M7MD. That might be where we might have to call it. Just kind of saw the point. Don't use anything. Wait till overtime to expend this Titanic Shock. You guys, Oliver. Nice. Good save from Jamal to make sure Oliver did not go down quite then. I mean, again, Oliver has Coalescence now. They have all 5 ultimates online for Empire, whereas Telacy Mirage is a little bit behind. Just, you know, I would say just on Terra Surge. M7 does have Captive Sun, so that's A-okay. But they gotta do this fight real smartly. They're gonna start things off with the Coalescence and the Pulse Bomb, which is fine to utilize. Hans comes in through with the aggressive orbital ray. Oh no, that is a Rampage, Jax. Oh, that is it. All ultimates have been put on the field here, and I think the biggest finisher there was gonna be the orbital ray from Hans that kind of just solidified the win for Telacy Mirage in that fight. Beautifully done from these guys. They have now brought it all the way back to a Game 5. Another Game 5 banger. I had just been Game 5s over and over and over again. Thank you. It's better for me. Oh my. There's a lot that happened. A lot has already happened on this map. There was 2 Ajaxes. Last map we had, or not, yeah, last time we had an unfortunate C9. There's a lot going on with this match that I am a big fan of. But let's go over to FACEIT. Let's make sure we know, or that I know, 'cause I'm very bad at paying attention. Make sure we know exactly what we're going to be looking over towards. You know what I could always do? I just realized this. I could just add, right? Watch, hold on. Let me just add a browser source so you guys see it now. We're going back to Flashpoint. Empire actually going to be on the right side. That's fine. Let me fix it real quick. There we go. And oh my god, I didn't see the ban. I was trying to fix their... It's okay. It's okay. We know Empire had first ban. I just can't believe they brought it back. But we're going back to Flashpoint, and this is where Empire just like They were running with it. But I will say, when we did see or sort of also originally, a lot of it was just kind of like small mistakes that resulted in disadvantages. Okay, Venture ban. I think that's coming in from Empire. Okay. I hate asking people for favors. I can guess who banned JQ, but I'm just going to... Yeah, thank you. Alright, Telacy Mirage did do a JQ ban. Let's get her in here. Junker Queen. And the opposing side was a Venture ban. Alright, this is map 5. So here we go. This is all where it ends on New Junk City. Let's get it. Okay, Venture seems really good at the moment. Yeah, she is... sorry, excuse me. They are really good right now. I feel like Venture's always just been a good character, and I feel like that map did even better with Venture on it because there was a Cassidy ban on top of that, right? So there's no real threat to Venture besides if you want to go Sombra for whatever reason, but I feel like Sombra just isn't powerful right now to disrupt Venture approaches and things like that, right? So that's why there was so much value being given to this Venture that was being played. Otherwise, now that Cassie is back on deck here, I am once again looking at Prodigy and Yenne's. Prodigy's already like, I'm not playing these games. Cassie's back offline, or back online. I need to play Cassidy, and mirror Yenne's, because Yenne's Cassidy is absolutely insane, completely insane. There's a reason why it was banned last map. You know, it's a very strong character. And again, that's why Venture was so good, is because there was nothing really targeting them whatsoever. First fight already. Gonna be a Ram mirror here. Kiriko back online. Same thing with Lucio, so Oliver can finally play the their comfort character. Oh no, that's a Rhea. Big elimination for the side of Telacy Mirage. No more sleep to be seen. I'm just gonna look at Yanis real quick, because Yanis is... I'm telling you, Yanis is absolutely crazy on Cassidy. Like, the pressure you get just from the character itself is not okay. Let's get back up here. And they're gonna be stuffing out this this entryway as well. Sorry, this is a very awkward area to like observe in. I'm sorry. I'm not the observer all time. I'm just not. I am not orange. Okay, here comes the fight. They're gonna be rocking right in. Stu force use deflect relatively early on, but that means everyone can pretty much get out for free here. Walking in onto Yanez. I mean, they know who the target is, and they kind of separate this tank from the rest of the team here. Thankfully, Gossler rotates back around to have that safety of these supports with him again. But now this point is still going 60% in favor of Telacy Mirage. And now we have also the Casino Rush being used here. Project finds one to Yanis, who was all the way in the back. Couldn't find the peel either. Comes up with another reversal Casino Rush. There goes two. And now it's the Prodigy show now. It is just the Prodigy show. Excuse me, sorry. No one's looking at Prodigy. Beautiful. This coffee is so old. This is so sad. It's like cold-ish now. It's not even ice cold. Deadeye's online first for Prodigy, which is really big. A big advantage that Empire can absolutely walk on. And they're going to use it. Ooh, they're walking right into it. Gotta get past his shield and puts pressure onto Yanis. But Yanis has now built up another, their own Deadeye. And we're walking back in with the Annihilation. We lose out on Hans, however, so that's a really big trade-off between your Cassidy and your Kiriko. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not doing this right now. I'm not doing this right now. Nope. Everything's being used. Yanis is on the point using Deadeye. No one can touch besides Telacy Mirage. Fight has now depleted. They gotta do a last minute touch. They gotta do a rush touch here. And you hate being pressured to a touch. Postom goes onto the shield. Beautiful timing of that shoot from Godslayer. And there goes Project. There goes Oliver. Stu is just running the lobby right now on this Genji right now. Oh, what elimination! It's just the ram back, and that's really all that she wrote. And we did get a flip, however, for Empire, but it wasn't gonna last for very long. Telacy Mirage with Stu on this Genji has been effectively being able to shut down and eliminate a lot of characters very quickly. And that's kind of just Stu's job. I feel like Yenis does a lot of the main damage output, depleting health bars really early on, and then Stu just kind of goes in to finish them off. Simple as that. And it's working. There has to be some sort of response to Stu soon here. And there's no ultimates online. And Delta is closest to this Kitsune Rush, which is fine. And they're going to be seeing a rotation all the way over to the main area, a little more open, but a little more open to play with, but the sightlines are you're a lot more naked when you're coming in through these other entryways rather than the main one you usually see everyone come out of. Comes Kitsu from Delta. That's enough to shut down Hans. No Kirik on the side of Telacy Mirage, so Empire's going to walk on that beautifully and kind of push everyone away from the point and start to take the point first under their belt. Oh no, Jamal. It's fine. You're Tracer. You come back really fast. You also have Pulse Bomb, so you have a little bit of a threat to the backline of M78 and Hans than they do against Delta. Whoa. That's 9. I got you. Drops down to the objective. And now we're walking in with his Annihilation. But over to Ray from M70 is actually kind of massive. Whoa. I hear a Deadeye. Oh, King is not looking very good right now. Beautiful Pew, though, stays alive just by that the blocking of the Nemesis form, 75% damage reduction, but now won't last for very long as Stu rips out the Dragon Blade and shuts down the approach from Empire. They flip it really early as well, which is absolutely massive on New Junk City, on Flashpoint in general. You want to get these points as soon as possible. You don't want them to flip for that long. Oliver coming up on Sound Barrier, which is going to be good. At least I guess it's Annihilation from Godslayer. Sitting up on this high ground, they're actually going to go down from the low ground. I think they might just do a quick rush up these staircases. Yeah, up to the opposing side here. King Hao a little bit in a kind of in a uncomfortable position, but here comes Oliver to help assist. And the Annihilation has been expended. Sound Barrier must be used in response to this Annihilation, but everyone's backing up, so the timer has now gone down to 0. Negated completely. Delta has Kitsune Rush that can absolutely be used here and gets elimination onto the opposing Kiriko as well. Needs to keep their fellow support alive, and they do it with ease. Empire, despite having to take it all the way to 99%, they do get the flip off, and they have to only have about 50% more to bring it back to an even 1-to-1 match. I think the Ducks is my least favorite map, my least favorite round on New Junk City, because it's just kind of awkward to fight in. This really small bridge, these really awkward entry points. It's difficult if you know how to fight it. Oh, we're in there. Whoa, we're in there. Don't peek Yanis. Oh, you can see Yanis getting called out by King Hao, by Sleep, excuse me. This is on the point. Oh, there's a lot of pressure being put onto this backline. They do find a way out, not once but twice. Nice evasion from Hans, but might not be for very long. A lot more red in this kill feed than there is blue, so I mean Empire looking a lot better in terms of numbers. Oh man, it's just Godslayer coming back. Yenis could come in with a Deadeye, which could spell massive victory. Oh, what a last-minute deflect coming in from... last-minute block coming in from Sleep. King Hao is Sleep, by the way, I'm pretty sure. They're on Shira mode, but should be no Sleep. 1-to-1. That felt like a really long round as well. I feel like they were just so back and forth for so long. Anai versus Anai versus Orbit Array versus Sound Barrier. So even in terms of economy, even old economies, I would say for most part, Stu coming up closer to a Dragon Blade. Big hinder. Big Pulsum also gets expended by Jamal here as well. Oh, that's one eye coming out. That's both. Oh, you see me. You got me messed up. Like I'm not doing all. Nope, that is much better. I can actually see what's going on now. Yanis goes over to the high ground here, puts a little bit of pressure on this angle pressure, but then we kind of bully Telacy Mirage off the objective and grab it for ourselves. First, we trade Jamal for Yanis. Dragon Blade does get used, and the Suzu is great, but not going to save Oliver for all that long, unfortunately, as we do see Telacy Mirage start to bring it back slowly but surely against Empire. It just poor Delta left, and that is all that she wrote. Again, another good flip, a really good early flip coming in from Telacy Mirage, and they need to keep this objective up as long as possible. I personally do prefer playing Workshop just because you have all this space, and I feel like with what we've been seeing in the past couple of rounds, Telacy Mirage does exceptionally well when they have space to work with. When they have angles, when they have pressure being put onto from everywhere and anywhere. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Good evasion from the entirety of Telacy Mirage to avoid that Deadeye from Prodigy. Unfortunately, M7 cannot say the same. Goes down by the way of Sleep, and pretty much one clean fight, and that's all that we needed. That was so fast. They retake it so quickly. There's just not a chance for these guys to stick onto the objective and stabilize on it fast enough when you're in the hands of Prodigy's Deadeye. You can already see that Empire is kind of stuffing up against the Junkyard entryway. Forcing this a little bit of all rotation, but they could just kind of walk on it from behind or from the front. Maybe go for a little pincer, but they actually don't. They then walk out almost for free here. King Hao does have Annihilation on the back end. High Noon expended by Yanis. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Annihilation in my face. You just kind of explode. Overtime has been expended. Has been activated here. We go in for the orbital raid to see maybe if it's going to be enough. But unfortunately, in the world of New Junk City, it was never going to be enough. 2-1. They're on match point of New Junk City to take this 3-2 victory in this absolute map 5 banger series. Telacy Mirage need to bring it back. As we move on over to Bomb Flats, this could mean everything in the world to Telacy Mirage. It's a little bit awkward to OBS this. I think this side's a little better. Yeah, this is a little better. Whoa, okay, Stu. Slicing and dicing against his Ramatro, who's blocking every single hit. And finally, the pressure is just too much. We lose out on a lot of our players, but Telacy Mirage still find a way to make it back in their favor. It gets a slight little stagger onto Prodigy alongside Jamal in that wave respawn, but that was a very clean approach to the annihilation from Empire. You know, everyone just kind of backed out. The Dragon Blade was also very strong as well to make sure that we just kind of out-pressure their tank. Project, I think, was just kind of too far to help mitigate that pressure, so it just became too much. But here comes a very aggressive High Noon into the sound barrier. Oh, and M70 just unfortunately just couldn't slide around that pillar fast enough. Hans finds their one, but it will not matter at the end of the day. Empire is so good at taking really fast fights right now. They have pretty much just walked in with an aggressive Deadeye with either Oliver usually going for a sound barrier or just having the amp speed on deck there, and Prodigy just walks and finds somebody who can't get out fast enough, who can't hide fast enough. Again, Delta does have Continue Rush, and I do know they're going to probably use it wherever they walk towards. I wouldn't be surprised if they use it right around this objective. There it is, right in this entryway, but I don't... There we go. Okay, it actually is really nicely placed. Clean. Another very clean fight, but this is not the end of the world for Telacy Mirage. Oh, M70s. My bad. This is not the end of the world for Telacy Mirage because they just now, you know, flipped it over to 75%. This is definitely a last-minute touch situation. And you have Deadeye from Yanis, which should, on paper, be enough. At least they're hoping so. So they're going to go fast here for sure. Oh, you can't let this Cassie go down, though. And, oh, that was all that she wrote. Annihilation has to be used Sound barrier gets built up fast enough to make sure we stay alive during this fight. But is it going to be enough as Godsir takes on the brunt of this damage of his annihilation? It does go down. Nemesis form now gets propped onto Hans, who teleports into the Ramatra, into the middle of the fight, gets called out, and there is Mirage coming back with a Deadeye, but it doesn't even matter because no one can touch. Empire takes it 3-2 and secure their spot in losers finals against Invaders Blues on Monday, I believe, or tomorrow. Oh my goodness. What an absolute treat to have watched all of that. You guys both teams did absolutely fantastic. I had a wonderful time being able to spectate you guys. Watching Empire get completely run over in that first match of Busan. It was a complete wash. With all due respect, it was a 2-0 on Busan. Minimal real strategy for Empire to break through on it. And then it was like, oh, it's fine. It's a warm-up match. There's three more matches to go at least, you know. And then they just start slowly and surely bringing it back. They are excellent at brawl. They're excellent at knowing when to go first, when to use ultimates, who to target priority, who to target call. You know, they're very good at just playing this kind of chess game, and I really enjoyed watching it, I must say. But that is going to be Telacy Mirage bowing out at 4th place in the EMEA Advanced Division. It was a pleasure to watch them throughout the playoffs bracket, and I cannot wait to see them in Season 6 for FACEIT. But otherwise, that is pretty much all I have. Let's go over the bracket really quickly. I can pull it up real fast for everybody. Full screen. Let's do a quick little review of what we just watched. Oh, and boom, there it is. All right, quick little review. We just had Empire and Telacy Mirage come through today. 3-2 finish for Empire. And again, like, look, they were not doing so hot when we first started things off, and then they 3-0 on Saravasa. Again, if you watch back on this VOD, it felt like Telacy Mirage just had a couple of mistakes, a couple of funny shenanigans that shouldn't have happened that allowed Empire to really capitalize on their mistakes and run with it on Saravasa at least twice. You know, on I would say point B and point C, that was really where you saw them capitalize on Telacy Mirage's mistakes. And that's okay. At this point, it was 1-1. Sucker Royale, pretty much a full hold for Empire in their favor. Runasapi, insane run by Telacy Mirage, but then you ban Jungle Queen, you ban, I think it was I can really look at it right now, hold on. Venture, there it is. And they still were able to pull out a 3-1 victory. Telacy Mirage had so much going for them, but I just feel like the momentum was really shifting in favor of Empire, especially of Prodigy playing Cassidy again into Yanis, and Yanis can only do so much against Prodigy, who is always on top of having the Deadeye, always being sped around by their Lucio, always having some sort of response to an ultimate being used. You know, it was just a very well coordinated team fight from Empire multiple times on New Junk City that allowed them to take it 3-1. Refresher on the bans, all of which I think these were all very good bans. I think every single ban here was very impactful for what each goal of each team was with these bans. I think they were very, very good. And then let's go over to, I believe I have it right here. Yes, I do. Oh my god, I'm so prepared. EMEA Advance, we just saw this. This should refresh to have Empire moving on to fight Invaders Blues. Yes, so this would be happening tomorrow, which I believe I actually volunteered to cast this, I believe. So I think I'll be covering this as well. And then winner of that gets to go up against Goat Tricks on July 19th, which is technically this Saturday. So that is a bracket to look forward to. I believe also I'm covering North America Advance tomorrow. Let me double check. Yes, I'm covering their winners finals, I want to say. If not, well, I'm covering this because my friend covers the Ragnarok games typically. So I think I'll be covering Mouse 5 and UTK and Orange. I'll double check on that. But otherwise, thank you everyone that was able to tune in. Thank you teams for letting me yap and have fun and watch you guys play and stream you guys. You guys all did amazing so far in this playoff bracket, and I am so proud of everybody. And we'll see you guys for tomorrow's EMEA and NA matches.